They sit next to each other on the train, still pretending to be strangers. They were indeed strangers 30 years ago, but they cannot deny their true attraction. It's a strong gravitational pull bringing them back to each other. Tonight on Adult Bedtime Stories for the Creative Soul, tune in to the adult listening party. Here, engaging short story samples, spicy poems, and inspiration. Your imagination depends on it. It was the summer of '96. It was a hot and humid day while the wind blew, drawing children, adults, and animals alike to the park named The Stone. The Stone was a place of meeting where others could catch up on daily reading or stroll through catching the breeze of the lake's salted taste while kicking rocks underneath their feet. The sun began to beam in on one spot on the lawn. There laid Anna, a large black Labrador, laying heavily on her stretched out owner. Now, her owner was nothing like her. He was a strong man of 6 feet, with dusty brown hair and a large brown mole that was placed gracefully under his left eye. He was laying on his back, with his hands behind his head, thinking of the night before. He envisioned her and her hair cascading down her naked back as she slept. The beige sheet lay loosely, covering her waist. Her skin was smooth, flawless, and possessed a glowing nature that captivated him. He began to trace her back with his eyes politely touching, softly warming her skin, but not enough to wake her, for his mind wanted to caress and ruffle her hair one last time. She would lay on the bed a certain way, never to move while sleeping, a beautiful silhouette. She had a small tattoo on the small of her back. He strained his eyes to see the definition of her arrow in the dark room. The feather flowed with ease on the end of the arrow. The tip pointed diagonally toward a space in the room that was rarely frequented. The writing on the wall was uniquely positioned, showing a star that shone bright, even in the dark room. He remembered her voice as she spoke of the star on the wall. She mentioned its uniqueness and how it woke her from her dark despair. She began to stir as he held his breath. He looked out the window and began to smile. He could see her play with her hair in the reflection of the window. She was nervous. She bit her lip and decided to smooth her clothes. She could feel the heat rise from her ankles to her thighs and to the small of her back. He reminded her of a supernatural intelligence that spoke to her mind. His aura allured her and captivated her thoughts. He possessed the power to make her do anything, but he chose to keep his wants at bay. She could only imagine why. So there you go. That was a snippet from Arrow by myself, Kamani Roby. I do hope that you enjoyed it. And thank you for tuning in to the Adult Listening Party, where we experience engaging short story samples, spicy poems, and inspiration. Your imagination depends on it. Now, for the adult creative soul, anyone who wants to express their creative genius in writing, there is a website just for you. You can go to bit.ly/adult creative soul, bit.ly/adult creative soul, where you can see the creative juices flowing with blogs and stories for your delight. And remember, we are PG-13 adult family, so set the temperature to cold, warm, or hot. Definitely throw in some spice, but please keep it tasteful. And send in your poems or short story excerpts to be broadcast on the show weekly. Send that information to adultcreativesoul at gmail.com. Quick commercial housekeeping. Now, for those of you who are on their individual health walk and you would like to get real time information on the foods that you eat, know, and love, as well as be in sync to a place where we address all your concerns, ideals, and all things health related, tune in on Sunday nights to Love Your Health. This is a perfect place to come together and bounce ideals. You can check out the website bit.ly/love health now. That's bit.ly/love health now. Or you can tune in to the podcast at anchor.fm/love health now. And we are also on many other platforms, including Spotify. And for all my creative souls, we want to give you your own open space to continue to allow creative freedom to flow. This is your space, your opportunity to grow and shine. And without you, there would be no adult creative soul. So I thank you. I wanted to give you a quote tonight by a gentleman named Louis L'Amour, the late Louis L'Amour, and it states, "Start writing, no matter what. The water does not flow until the faucet is turned on." So start writing. We'd love to hear you. And send in your poems or short story excerpts to be broadcast on the show weekly. Send that information to adultcreativesoul at gmail.com. And I am so happy that you tuned in, and I hope that you check us out. And you've tuned in to Adult Bedtime Stories for the Creative Soul. And I am your host, Kamani. And so long for now.